For those who don't know, Terrell was born to 11-year-old special needs mother who was molested by a 26-year-old man.
Yeah.
But it just so happened, like, to make this story even crazier is that guy was a part of your family too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of talk about this story.
My mom was 11 years old when she had me. She was 11 years old, special needs, one leg amputated at birth. She was the baby that every family, you know, not every family, but that you know, was the special needs kid that the family was taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
And my father was 26. He was from the same family through marriage, but it was he was molesting her, you know, and didn't think that she could get pregnant. So I was that. You know, she was 9 months pregnant when they found out she was pregnant because they thought it was like a tumor throughout her medication and everything she had. Wow. She was always gaining weight, so they didn't know. And then, you know, during that time, things were a little bit different. So when they found out she was pregnant, it was already too late. I was already here.
Yeah.
So for me to come out and then you're this child who they don't want to really say who the father is. Yeah. I mean, people were so surprised that the 11-year-old girl had the baby.
So you knew that she was your mother, though?
Absolutely. Okay. But the 11-year-old special needs one-leg girl had this baby. I think the whole neighborhood was more surprised that happened, you know? So then they stopped to think, wait, who's the father? But I started looking more and more like him.
Yeah.
You know, so it was obvious.
You knew him, like, growing up?
Well, you know, by the time I was 5 years old, the family kind of made this huge split, and my grandfather passed away, which you'll find out in the book when you read it. But I knew who he was. I knew, you know, the whole thing. You know, I remember being 5 years old, and my mother and I, we were like kids, and I didn't know at that time she was special needs and everything. And when I was 5 years old, her and I had an argument about a coloring book and some crayons, and something she said and the way she pronounced the words. I remember being 5 years old, and I was like, you know what? I'm smarter than she is. At that time, that's what you know, and I was like, I gotta be nice to her. I could tell that I had already surpassed her, you know, at that point in my life when I was 5. And she was, you know, 15, 16, 17, whatever she was. Yeah. And at that time, it was just, I did an interview and a lady asked me, she said, well, with a mother like, you know, being special needs and what you went through, how do you still have the motivation to, you know, when you were younger to continue to go on? I said, well, first of all, if those are the chips that I was, you know, dealt, the cards that I was dealt in the beginning, that's one thing. But if this is the man that I get to choose, I get to live the life and figure it all out as, you know, with all of these things, I'm grateful for that. But my surprise was more that I was nothing like the rest of the family. My family was, and a lot of them, most of them are gone. It's like I have 1 or 2 family members left, but my immediate family and even some extended were whatever the most derogatory thought that you ever have about a black family, that was these people. And I grew up with them, you know, so, and I can say that because it's a part of my story.